No, what I'm saying is they already called him a weight bully. He beat Kell Brook coming off of a loss, an eye injury.
Yeah, so you can't say that he's not a Hall of Fame if he's beat world champions, you know.
When it comes to being great, it's not about just becoming undisputed. It's how you become undisputed.
Terence Crawford has laughed off Errol Spence's rematch call-out, while also questioning Spence's Hall of Fame credentials. Crawford argued that Spence only fought in one division, unlike himself, who became undisputed in multiple weight classes.
Right now? No, how? He fought in one division. He had a WBC, WBA,
He wasn't
IBF.
undisputed. He
No,
wasn't undisputed.
He wasn't. No, what I'm saying is they already called him a weight bully. He beat Kell Brook coming off of a loss, an eye injury. He beat Sean Porter.
In all fairness, he had to go over there to get that.
You know what I mean? That's a good win. I'm still a fan. I hope he do well. But like, once it got to the point where I moved up in weight and I'm in the same weight as Spence, it's just like, oh man, you ain't fighting nobody. You this, you that, you this, you that. So now they trying to blemish my accomplishment just to boost him up. I'm like, dude, you're not gonna do that, because I can retire right now and be in the Hall of Fame. He couldn't. Everything that I've accomplished, he's still trying to accomplish. I don't want to sound like I'm hating on him. I honestly don't know if he make it to the Hall of Fame with the accolades that he didn't got.
He can't be in the Hall of Fame with just 147, Crawford said, dismissing Spence's legacy. Errol Spence has called out Terence Crawford for a rematch, making it clear he wants another shot. The rematch is still a possibility, Spence said, determined to run it back. Despite his previous loss, he believes he can make adjustments and prove himself against Crawford in a second fight.
Is there ever a possibility where you would rematch Errol Spence? Or is he in a position where he needs to win again before that makes sense for you?
The possibility is there. He's fighting for Dor, for his title. I'm fighting for a title. And there's the possibility. He win his fight, God willing. I win my fight, God willing. And there's your possibility right there.
Terence Crawford's recent comments regarding Errol Spence Jr. have caused a stir in the boxing world. Fans and analysts alike have debated whether it is appropriate for a fighter of Crawford's stature to speak negatively about a fellow champion, while some believe that trash talk is part of the sport. Others argue that it goes against the ethics of boxing. Stephen Hops has defended Spence, stating that it is unfair to dismiss Spence's accomplishments.
I don't agree, because he beat some notable names. You know, he beat Sean Porter, he beat Lamont Peterson,
Danny
Garcia. So you can't say that he's not a Hall of Fame if he's beat world champions, you know, and beat them like in a different way. So I don't agree with that answer right there that you said. I think he's a Hall of Fame. I feel like anybody who made it to that big stage and beat them big name champions is a Hall of Fame. He did something that nobody else got. So, you know.
Like, technically, he's a three-time champ because he won 3 belts.
Yeah. He was unified. Wasn't he unified?
Yeah, he was unified. It was just one. He was one away.
You can't say a person is not a Hall of Famer if he's unified. Once you unified, you made them history. I feel like once you become a world champion, you made them history books.
Yeah, once you become a world champion, you make the history books, of course. But I think
unified is Hall of Fame.
You think so?
Yeah.
Guaranteed?
Yeah, because you got all the belts.
Spence has fought against some of the best in the division, including a hard-fought battle against Sean Porter. His record speaks for itself, proving that he is not just a unified champion, but also a highly skilled fighter who has taken on elite opponents.
I can retire right now and be in the Hall of Fame. He couldn't.
I think Spence will be in the Hall of Fame.
Right now? No, how?
Then, Bud, what you do? Because, Bud, Errol is your one, and you just shitted on him. I remember you dissing me on X because you want and deserve respect. And all of us are here to give it to you. But when you go shitting on another fantastic fighter who happens to be the marquee opponent on your resume, then brother, people gonna start flipping tables. And they're gonna start looking at you. Bottom line, Errol Spence is great, and you whipped his ass. Sean Porter is great, and you whipped that ass. And what you're daring to do to take on Canelo Alvarez is beyond great. Now it's crazy. good.
Dismissing his achievements is both inaccurate and disrespectful, since defeating Spence Crawford has been widely praised for his skills and dominance inside the ring. However, his recent comments have sparked disappointment among fans. Many feel that a fighter of his caliber should show more respect toward his opponents, particularly someone like Spence, who has built an incredible legacy. Ray Jackson expressed his frustration by posting Terence Crawford said this back in January about
Crawford, his accomplishments aren't great enough. You have people jumping in my comments talking about two-time undisputed and all this shit. When it comes to being great, it's not about just becoming undisputed. It's how you become undisputed, how you become champion, who you face. Because hell, Devin Haney fought Cambosis to become undisputed in one swoop. What? That makes him as great as Ali? Hell no. So if you say that Errol Spence isn't a Hall of Famer, bud, we start looking at jobs. Let's talk about Spence. He got the belts and unified, but who did he take the belts from and what did he try to do with you? Spence's road that you're shitting on is more violent.
Now Crawford is the one being very disrespectful to Errol Spence. You can't make up this tweet. Encapsulates the disappointment many fans feel. About Crawford's behavior, boxing analyst Showbiz the Adult also weighed in on the controversy.
I haven't heard anything yet, and like I said before, it's in the contract, so it's not if I'm open to it or not. It's, you know, what's in the contract, and Errol gave me an opportunity and a shot at becoming the first male boxer, undisputed, you know, in any division in the 4-belt era, and I honor, you know, that. And if he was to come to me or activate his rematch, then I honor.
He stated that while Crawford rightfully earned respect for his dominant victory over Spence, his recent remarks have caused some to view him differently. Showbiz emphasized that fans initially supported Crawford because of his incredible performance in the ring, but now many are reconsidering their opinion of him due to his disrespectful comments. One of the biggest points of debate following Crawford's,
Yeah, you know, he's ready. Right when I seen that, I said Crawford wins. His movement, everything was, he wins. It doesn't matter if Spence was not strong or strong. He had more of the stuff to win that fight. And Crawford is a game player. He's gonna come, he coming to win. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I still say Crawford anyway, but I feel bad that we didn't see the true Spence fight Crawford. If that makes any sense. I just think that Crawford has more rhythm, more movement, more stuff. And not just having more movement, more stuff, he has the power and everything just to be one of those great fighters. He has everything. And if you have Spence is not one-dimensional, but in that fight, he was really one-dimensional, really stiff. And if they looked like they had really a lot of problems trying to get down to his weight, didn't have enough time to work on stuff they need to work on to, you know, attack Crawford or to do anything to Crawford. And then when they got in the ring, you know, he was so weak. I mean, Crawford dropping him with right jabs. We're like, dang, that bullet just dropping him.
comments has been the strength of Spence's opponents compared to those Crawford has faced. Some argue that Spence has had a tougher road to the top facing elite fighters throughout his career. According to some analysts, becoming undisputed is not just about collecting belts, it is about proving yourself against the best fighters.
Fact, let me make a plea over the international digital airwaves of YouTube. Let me make a plea right now to Terence Crawford. I understand you just beat him. You beat him thoroughly. You're the undisputed welterweight champion of the world, the WBO, the WBA, the WBC, the IBF titles, but you hugged him after the fight for a reason. I am making a plea to Terence Crawford, even if you elect to give Errol Spence Jr. a rematch. Please do not do this for at least a year. Please don't do that. Y'all are cool with one another. I'm begging you, my brother. I'm begging you. because I know you got love. And I'm begging Errol Spence Jr., as good as you are, you were just outclassed. I say that respectfully because I got mad respect for Errol Spence Jr. Please, please do not fight Errol Spence.
Terence Crawford recently addressed the rematch clause in his contract with Spence. He confirmed that a second fight is possible, but he has not yet decided. On the best course of action, many are eager to see if Spence will have a chance to redeem himself. Given how dominant Crawford was in their first fight, a rematch could be Spence's opportunity to prove that he can adjust and come back stronger. Boxing legend.
And I really appreciate you just being a regular dude who's very, 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 very skilled at something. I'm glad you're getting your flowers, and I hope the biggest of bags come your way in these next few years with how things play out for you, man.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks.
Because you earned
bro.
it. You earned it, bro.
And you gave us, listen, entertainment. You know what I mean? From beginning to end, it was a real display. So we appreciate you taking time, bro.
Hey, I appreciate y'all having me, man. I appreciate it.
Before we go, how soon will we get the rematch? Do you know that calendar? You know how that calendar is going to play out?
Probably, if it happened, it'd probably be the end of this year.
That's soon.
Yeah.
Like a December situation, probably, something like that?
Yeah.
There you
All
go.
right.
Terence Bud Crawford, the undisputed welterweight champion of the world.
Nice Howard Cosell there, bro.
Jane Mosley shared his thoughts on the rematch, stating that he believes Crawford would win again, regardless of how much Spence improves. He argued that Spence should consider avoiding the rematch and instead focus on rebuilding his A. Career Crawford's trainer Brian Back McIntyre echoed Mosley's sentiments, predicting that a rematch would end. With the same result, Biak emphasized that Crawford's performance in their first fight was no fluke.